What up, nerds? My name is Leslie and welcome to The Nerdy Narrative. This is a channel where I read primarily in the science fiction, fantasy, horror, and manga genres, but I do like to stick my toes in other genres here and there as well. I've just really found myself on a journey of just discovering as much about the different reading genres as I can and just giving them all a fair shot. And what happens is I just discover more things that I enjoy. It just really helps me expand my reading taste and just really enhances my overall literary experience. So today is Friday, and that means it is time for my weekly reading wrap-up. And my wrap-ups I use to share with you any announcements I have about the channel, any book mail I received, what I read, what I'm reading, and what I plan to read next. And guys, I will have timestamps down in the description box below so you can jump around to the areas that actually interest you so you don't have to suffer through everything. So announcements for this week. The very first one I want to share with you is tomorrow you'll be able to catch me over on the Library of Alexandria's channel. I am going to be participating in a Red Rising live stream with Alan and a few other of our booktubing friends. So if you're participating in that read along or you've read the book previously and you want to come see what we say about it, that is going to take place over on Alan's channel tomorrow, Saturday 27th at 12 Central. I will of course have a link to Alan's channel in the description box down below for your clicking pleasure. Second announcement. I recently put out a forum where you guys could send in anonymous assumptions about me so that we could have a little fun with that. I did film some of those with a very special friend this past weekend, and that will go up on the channel on Wednesday. Since we didn't cover all of the assumptions that were sent in, Wednesday night I am going to follow up with a live stream on the channel, my very first live stream, and I will cover the rest of the assumptions that weren't covered in the video that's going to go up that morning. And that way I just make sure that I get to everyone's. So the form will be in the description box down below. If you didn't put one in or you want to add a few more, go ahead and get those in. I'll read them on the live stream. So again, the pre-recorded video will go up on the channel Wednesday, March 3rd. I will follow up with a live stream that evening on the 3rd, and I will cover all of the rest of the assumptions that we missed. So March 3rd also happens to be my birthday, and I thought what better way to celebrate than with all of you guys on my very first live stream. So we will hope that I can actually get that off the ground and going. Christy Lewis was a doll and sent me some instructions and has offered to help me get that going. So we'll hope for the best, and I hope to see you guys there. Now that we have the announcements out of the way, let's get into the book mail that I got. The first one I want to share with you is The Least of My Scars by Stephen Graham Jones. This was sent to me by my friend Evie from the channel She Was Only Evie. She and I both are absolutely just in love with Stephen Graham Jones, and she just saw all of my gushes about The Only Good Indians, and then she and I were chatting privately with one another about it. So she got this for herself to read and then sent me a copy, so we're gonna buddy read it together. Oh, but guys, I'm very excited for this one, but I'm also very frightened. It's about a serial killer who has never been caught, and he has, from what I understand, run out of people to kill. And so he's trying to deal with what happens when you don't have anyone to kill. I am just absolutely thrilled to be reading more of Stephen Graham Jones. My next piece of book mail is The Psychic's Memoirs by Ryan Hyatt. And it is possible I am pronouncing his last name wrong, but this was sent to me to read and review by the author. This was a request I accepted immediately for review because it sounded so interesting and intriguing and just right up my alley. The synopsis of this book just took a lot of elements that I enjoy reading and married them together in one novel, so I'm really excited to give it a try. But the brief blurb that it has on the back is a hot-tempered Los Angeles detective and his distracted partner are assigned to find an alleged teenage psychic whose capture might determine the outcome of a looming civil war and humanity's relationship with a misleading alien force. For you guys that have been around the channel a while, you know I have a huge love and respect for self-published authors. Ryan did self-publish this book, and another really awesome thing that I noticed when I got it is he signed it over to me. That is so freaking cool. So I'm very much looking forward to reading and reviewing this one for you guys and see if it's something you all might be interested in. And my final piece of book mail is just absolutely stunning. It is so beautiful. It's something I wish I could hang on my wall. But this is The Rave by J.R. Trass. I'm most assuredly pronouncing his last name incorrectly. This is the first book in his trilogy, which I will have on the screen because I will most definitely butcher it. Look how absolutely gorgeous this cover is. I mean, guys, it just does not get any more beautiful than this cover. It's just absolutely beautiful. And just like the Psychic Memoirs, The Rave is also self-published. So the basic premise of The Rave is about a 17-year-old girl named Alina who has been trained by her grandfather to hunt arcane beasts, demons, and other non-human entities. Something happens to her grandfather, and then of course she's put up against a force that is trying to destroy the world that she lives in. This one sounds like it might be a chosen one trope, which I am perfectly okay with. There's a school mentioned, there's magic, non-human entities. I am sold. Plus, the book is so beautiful, there's just no way I could not read it. I'm also really interested because it looks like this is a mechanical dragon on the back of this book, so I can't wait to find out what or who that is. I just can't get over how beautiful this book is. You know, the front cover and the back cover is just gorgeous. I am just not wanting to have any wear and tear on it because see how the artwork wraps around with even the spine? Over into what I read and completed for the week. It wasn't a whole lot. That's my fault though, because I was starting books before I was completing books, and then everything was so interesting that I've been trying to equally divide my time between all of them. But what I did finish volume 10 for Ouran High School Club. That is a manga that is by Bisco Hattori. I am definitely enjoying this manga so much more than I had previously. 100% invested in it. The further I get into the series, the more I'm enjoying it, and 10 was no exception to that. The short story that I chose to read for the week is The Carnival of Gore, which is by V. Castro, and it is in her collection Sed de Sangre. I got that for free on Kindle Valentine's Day weekend. It was very interesting. I did not realize what it was at first, but the first page clued me in really fast. So it is a collection of short stories. Judging from the flavor of the first one, I'm going to step out and say that this is erotic horror, which is kind of funny that I didn't realize it going in, but I want you guys to know before you step into it so you're prepared for what you're gonna see on that first page, because I was like, what? Did a lot of giggling. You know, I'm a teenager at heart, what can I say? It was a very interesting take on a vampire tale. In fact, I wish it wasn't a short story. I wish it was a complete actual book because I was very intrigued. It's not a genre I normally would pick up or choose to read, but I definitely enjoyed it enough to want more. So that tells you the writer's good. She is an excellent author. I was very much intrigued. I enjoyed her writing style. I'm looking forward to continuing my way through her work. It's like my buddy Una says, short stories are a great way to sort of test out new authors, kind of a sampler platter, if you will. So that might be my approach for trying new authors in the future. See if they have a short story collection and pick that up. But I am looking forward to finishing this collection in the next month, so be looking to hear more on that in March. And now for what I'm still currently reading. I am still working on The Brothers Karamazov by Fyodor Dostoevsky. I am currently about halfway through this book. I'm participating in the read-along that is hosted by the Codex Cantina, A Musical Bookworm, Christy Lewis, and the History Shelf. In fact, they just had their second live stream that is on books 5 through 7 last night on Christy Lewis's channel. That video should actually now be on Christy's channel. I'll have her channel linked below, so if you want to check it out, you can. Books 5 through 7 actually reminded me a whole lot of Crime and Punishment. And what I mean by that is there was a whole lot of stuff going on. I was getting bounced around between different emotions and just debates between the characters that were just, I mean, mind-blowing. This was a very crafty section. Just the sheer number of things that Dostoevsky explored and used his characters to expound on in this section was, I mean, I can't even process it. I mean, my brain just won't do it. It just won't do it. The first 4 books were so funny and humorous. I never took any of the characters seriously because I was laughing at them. Books 5 through 7 got really complex as far as character development. The change in how the characters were presented just really kind of caused me to just be like, But yeah, but this one just continues to be a really interesting read. I'm very eager to see where it's going to go and how it's going to continue to evolve. I know there are some things that are going to happen and I'm constantly waiting on that. So every turn of the page, I'm like, is this going to be where this happens? But this is one I've been enjoying picking up every day and reading a few pages in. So about Elantris. I didn't know her this week. If I read anything in Elantris, it was probably just like 1 chapter. So, you know, I think at this point, I'm just going to get the audiobook and finish it out. I am still working my way through The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie. Holy smokes, guys. This book is awesome. I have had the best time reading it. Ev and Penny were raving about how great the audiobook narrator is. I think they said his name was Stephen Pacey. So I did check it out on Libby and they were right. The narrator for this book is just perfect. I've been trying to learn to read my physical book while listening to the audiobook, and Penny gave me some pointers on how to get used to it and then slowly inch up the speed to match how fast my eyes normally move across the page when I read. So I'm working on that. But guys, I have absolutely had the best experience with this audiobook. It's amazing. In fact, my new favorite thing is I'll lay in bed at night and watch basketball. I'll have the game muted because I don't need to know what the refs are saying. I can look at the screen and I know what's going on. And while I'm watching basketball on mute, I'm listening to the audiobook at the same time because basketball doesn't require any thought. I'm just watching the ball go up and down the court. Now, when something really exciting happens, I will sometimes have to rewind, but that's no big deal. But this book is awesome. The narrator just gives all of the characters different and nuanced voices, and my favorite is Glokta, and I can say his name now because I've heard it so much in the audiobook. I mean, Glokta may be my favorite character. I don't think he's supposed to be because I'm pretty sure he's kind of a nasty character, but I have had the best time. I have chuckled so much listening to this book. It is just absolutely outstanding. In my opinion, I am absolutely looking forward to the rest of the series. The final book that I'm still currently working on is Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I've had so many of my friends say, look, Red Rising's kind of rocky. Just hang in there, at least read Golden Sun before you determine whether you're going to continue the series. I don't know what they're talking about because this book is absolutely amazing. I am enjoying this one just as much as I'm enjoying The Blade Itself. In fact, it's difficult to choose which book I'm going to pick up first, and then whichever one I pick, I just don't want to put down, and it's been very difficult to split my time between the two. You know, I do have less than 100 pages left on both of these books. I'm hoping to finish at least one of them today. There have been many comparisons between Red Rising and The Hunger Games, and I see it, I get it. To me, that only lasts for a short while. There are a lot of changes and nuances that make it its own animal, and it really gets away from those similarities as you progress through this book. But holy smokes, I've never had a sci-fi hit me the way this one has hit me. I was in love with this book 3 chapters in. Everybody's saying, hey, this is like Hunger Games. I'm like, nah, Dara just wants to dance. Y'all, this is Footloose. But it's just a fascinating story. It is a sad story. I'm at a part right now that's just got my heartstrings just in a tangle. I have no idea what's going to happen next. There's been so many things to happen that I didn't see coming, and I'm just so invested. I'm so invested in this story. I'm so glad that I have the next book already here and on the plan to read for next month because it might be one of the first ones I pick up. Alright, that takes care of everything I am currently reading. Let's talk about what's next. Like I was saying, I hope that I finish either Red Rising or The Blade Itself tonight. Then I will finish the other one by tomorrow. And then that should leave me 3 good days to binge Ready Player One. I have heard so many wonderful things about this book, so I have no doubt I'm going to have a very enjoyable experience with this book, so I am ready. Ha! See what I did there? So now I need to pick a short story to read for this next week. I'm gonna save the rest of V. Castro's short story collection for March. So let's pick another Clarice story. All right, which one are you? Okay, so my short story for this week is going to be Beginnings of a Fortune by Clarice Lispector. Anything by Clarice is great, so I know I will enjoy this one, and I'll be happy to tell you guys about it next week. All right, fam, that will wrap up all of my announcements, book mail, what I read, what I'm reading, and what I am planning to read next. So what are you guys reading? Do you have some you're trying to finish? Do you have a last minute book you're trying to sneak in before the end of February like I am? Let me know down below, guys. As always, thank you so much for watching today. I appreciate each and every one of you taking the time out of your busy day to see what is going on in my little corner of the world. I hope your morning's gotten off to a great start. I hope the rest of your day is absolutely fantastic. I'll see you soon.